Have you ever felt a need to be profound? I think that's a tough thing. And I'm not just talking about if you're an established artist, if you're doing it as a career. I'm talking if you create, and that can be anyone. Everyone has creative potential. And there is so much pressure on having to say something. With my music, for instance, I sometimes succumb to that. It's an insecurity, it's a frailty that all humans can be victimized by. But you can also take it and grab it by the neck and shake it and strangle it and turn it to your advantage. Because real humans have weakness. Real humans have personality traits that may manifest as a weakness during one part of their lives, but it's a strength at the other. It's like context, how you use it. Just like you don't always have a stop sign on every part of the road. But when you're constructing, when you're architecting your life's landscape, as it were, there are places you do want to pause. I'm going to play some relaxing ambient stuff. I've been into that groove lately, not just because I've been reading about Brian Eno's philosophy. Now, he's very fascinating to me, particularly because he is not just a theorist. He's participated in both experimental and pop music. And as I will sometimes tell you, it's easy to find someone who's into pop music. Lots of people listen to pop music. It's easy to find someone who's into experimental music. It's rarer, but often they come with a certain reputation, as it were. But it's exceedingly hard to find someone who doesn't just enjoy both pop and experimental music per se, but they can marry them. I'm not just referring to musicians or even DJs, but for instance, in a playlist, they may make a mixtape, or they may have certain views where they can spot the connections between those. Sometimes people think there's a conflicting ideology. It's like pop music is just about the money, and experimental music is more about doing hardwired research, as it were. But these are false dichotomies. They don't serve usefulness. When you strip it all down, when you have the pure emotiveness, and that's a large reason why I started my dream journal, because of emotion, because things I want to write down my dreams, but I couldn't quite capture that. So music, even abstractly, there are certain feelings, certain emotions, and I can just play it for you and you hear. This is what it is. And this is a sound called Hydrostatic Bubbles, and it sounds like playing water. It's by Jeremiah Savage from the Sonic Fiction collection. I love this collection. Not just in a music geek way, as it were, but because it's beautiful. So it's very chill soundscape, and you're going to hear more of these. If you haven't checked out my music yet, I invite you to just go to torley.com. You can see the address right there. It's right there on the front page right now. And there's different moods, of course, different dreams of intensity, but that's why I started this musical dream journal, because I realized I couldn't do a single format album where it's 12 or 15 songs. I wanted to extend it and leave it open-ended as I dream each night and chronicle the fusion between my waking moments and importing them into the dream space. So let me continue to play some for you, and I'm going to morph this. And I would say my music tends to be cinematic in that I see images, I see films running through my head. They don't necessarily have a linear plot, but there are characters, some which have names that are not in the English language, so I phonetically try to spell them out. And I think that while in a pre-internet age, this might have seemed stranger than it actually is. I think as more people can connect, I think that this wonderfully blissful thing that we can connect through the internet. You can find someone within this seemingly obscure interest you thought no one else had, and perhaps I will find other music dream journalists, as it were. I found several people. Of course, there's a lot of people that, of course, you make music depending on what can inspire you. But in terms of something similar, very similar to what I'm doing and going along this path, finding like-minded people continues to get increasingly easy. Facile is another word. Sometimes the best things are the simplest, like just holding down the note and it continues to evolve. So taking us back to my original question of you ever feel the need, the pressure to be profound, it's funny that in so much great art, the most celebrated themes are also the simplest ones, such as love.